For years, dark, dangerous currents raged beneath the surface in Bangladesh. Rivers, a final resting place for sordid secrets, hiding stories of alleged state-led brutality, dumping grounds for political captives, the victims of a secret network of underground prisons we will take you to the very heart of, where it's claimed targets face torture and death.
This is the Buriganga River, where victims who'd allegedly been shot dead were dumped, their bodies tied to cement bags to make them sink, and their families never told what had happened to them.
These are some of the faces of the many still missing, abducted from streets and homes. A special commission set up to investigate enforced disappearances now already has 1,700 complaints. Nabila Idris thinks there could be more than 3,500 victims, but her work is very complex.
These large waterways provided an excellent source of body disposal, right? And this is why it's proving very difficult for any forensic evidence to be established, because it doesn't exist, it's all in there. People would be shot beside bridges, bodies would be thrown over, their bellies would be slit, and cement or bricks would be pushed inside so they'd be weighed down.
You've got an enormous caseload on your hands. Are you confident that you already have a compelling case of state-backed torture?
Absolutely. We got that within the first 2-3 months.
Bangladesh's former leader, Sheikh Hasina, now in exile in India, is accused of directly ordering enforced disappearances, which she denies. She framed her crackdown as a war on terror. But we're going to show you the brutal reality of it for the first time.
This is one of the cells.
Secret torture cells where her opponents were held. Some spent years blindfolded in windowless rooms. Now prosecutors are building a case for crimes against humanity.
Save me from this danger.
Save me from this danger.
Yeah.
Most were critics of the government, held here by Rapid Action Battalion, an elite counter-terrorism force described by human rights observers as an in-house death squad.
You get a really powerful sense here of just how claustrophobic it must have felt. People in total darkness and isolation, spending most of their days locked in rooms with no light.
Lurking behind a door is the grim legacy of interrogation, built to torture the mind and body. It's alleged detainees were strapped into this chair and spun at high speed. Others hung from the ceiling or shackled. In this room we find bags of banned drugs, counterfeit money, even explosives. Prosecutors say it's fake evidence planted on detainees to justify keeping them here. And this is just one of many sites now being uncovered across the country.
So far we have identified there are about 800 or 700 to 800 detention centers they have developed.
Do you allege that Sheikh Hasina had knowledge and involvement in these forced disappearances?
We have interviewed some of the perpetrators, the commanders of the different discipline forces, and they have stated that they did everything as per the order of the Prime Minister. What Hasina did is nothing but a crimes against humanity. And that's why we will prove it in the courtroom.
This is the first secret jail to be exposed. It was codenamed House of Mirrors, hidden in a military compound. Exhaust fans roared constantly. The aim? To send prisoners into madness. Michael Chakma recently made it out. The indigenous rights activist was freed into a forest, blindfolded, glimpsing sunlight for the first time since 2019.
Were you scared for your life?
Yeah, I never thought that I could come out from that place. It was 5 years, 4 months. 4 months. I couldn't see any light and anything.
No sunlight for more than
No.
5 years.
Yeah, more than 5 years, no sunlight.
His family had already held a funeral for him, but suddenly he could see a future.
Then after untie my eyes, then I saw the world again after 4 months.
Overwhelming, but still he was fearful.
I always thought that someone must be waiting for me.
His case has given hope and relief, but it's now clear there were many House of Mirrors.
All these detention centers were justified as, like being part of Sheikh Hasina's war against terrorism. I mean, we cannot deny that there are some terrorist groups in Bangladesh, but what now is becoming clearer is that a large part of Sheikh Hasina's war against terrorism, which was supported by Brits and Americans and Europeans, that was fake. I mean, many of the cases were simply trumped up.
Hundreds of families have spent years watching doors, making beds, preparing for elusive reunions. Campaigners are now increasingly vocal.
Humanly not possible to go to, pass through this kind of trauma every day. And kids, these wives, we say them half widows, 12 years they don't know the whereabouts of their husband.
Sanjida has her own trauma. Her brother, Shahjul, a member of Hasina's rival party, disappeared in 2013.
Sheikh Hasina then is ousted, and yet you're still waiting. How challenging has this long wait for news been for you?
If he's not alive, then where they have thrown him, I don't know that place, to go and pray. So it is heavier for us, heavier for each of us who lost their family members.
You need a place to mourn.
It is an excruciating limbo for the whole family.
And your mother looks for him every night.
She prays and then she opens the gate and then she looks for if anyone throws anyone in front of the gate.
This is all that's left of Sheikh Hasina's family home, destroyed by protesters. There is an arrest warrant out for the ex-leader, but Hasina denies the accusations against her and claims she's being politically persecuted. Getting her in front of a court will be a very tall order. Cordelia Lynch, Sky News, Bangladesh.